Hey, what's up? I'm gonna keep this poetry thing going. I don't care. And more decadent poems. I'm gonna try to jam them in before December to go in a different direction. But Robert E. Howard, Clark Ashton Smith, H.P. Lovecraft, right? These dudes were in my opinion, were the last guys who still. I mean, these guys knew all of these dudes from the 19th century, the poets and whatnot. But they also all wrote poetry. I mean, Clark Ashton Smith literally started out as a poetry prodigy. Uh, but Robert E. Howard had a lot of poems. Now, this book, I actually bought this book from Robert E. Howard, the museum in Cross Plains, Texas, which was the house that he lived in. And I remember getting this. I gave it to my buddy James, and amazing stuff. Really good poetry. Like I said, this is the 30s, the 30s, the 40s. Once the Second War is concluded, there's really not much left, in my opinion, of anything culturally. Perhaps the horror films for a couple of decades had some of the stuff like that. But in terms of writing and literature, poetry, the written word, it was done, I would argue, even before the war. Anyway, let's just go over some Robert E. Howard poems. And I got little things here. Alright, okay. Forgive me here. I'm just kind of... also, there's a lot of Lafon notes in here. Okay? I'm going to build a beautiful wall. Yeah, sure you are. Anyway, that's alright. I'm not down on that dude as much as other people were because I didn't expect much. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. Hadrian's Wall. Against these stones, red waves of carnage break. Along these parapets, Rome's armor shone. Here swarmed the Picts when ghastly tribes unknown came trooping down from heath and mountain lake. Here leaped the Saxon sword, red thirst to slake. Here sounded night on night the war horn's drone, mocking the desperate Britons left alone. Beneath her feet Rome felt her empire shake. Still sullen giants born of night and gloom. Beyond the purple brooding mountains loom, symbol of heathen gods that they sent forth. The ancient menace of the northern land. A bulwark still these shattered towers stand against the mystic hazes of the north. Yeah, the Picts. Yeah, my ancient people. What? Anyway. No, I'm not British or Irish. Okay, so. Alright, we'll go here. Ah, yeah, boxing. Let's go. You remember this New Yorker right here? Or was he from Boston? I forgot. John L. Sullivan. Bellowing, blustering old John L. Fearing nothing between sky and hell. Rushing, roaring, swinging his right. Smashing, crashing, forcing the fight. Battering foes until they fell. Tilt your glasses to old John L. Mitchell he knocked from the ring clear out. Dropping killer rain with a single clout. Laughlin he beat and Burke he flayed. Knocking out the Maury giant Slade. Packed in each fist damnation and hell. Tilt your glasses to old John L. Old John L's in town today. He's hitting it down the Great White Way, looking at his swallowtail coat and silk hat. Mustache too, say he's on a bat. Living in it, you can tell. Tilt your glasses to old John L. He's cleaned out the roughest, toughest saloon, right? I'll lick any, what did he say? He used to say, I'll lick any bastard in this bar, right? He's cleaned out the roughest, toughest saloon. He licked O'Rourke and Jem McLean. Sampled every saloon on the streets. Buying drinks for all he meets. Just like Mike Tyson used to buy drinks for everybody. I've known 3 people tell me that he would buy drinks for the whole club or the whole bar, man. Just say it. Hey, He's taking the Bowery. Yeah, the Bowery. Old days. He's taking the Bowery and Pell Mell. Tilt your glasses to old John L. Sticking your head in that grog shop door. Look at him, listen to his roar. Sit out the whiskey, Jimmy, you bum. Belly the bar, you half-bred scum. I can lick any guy from here to hell. Tilt your glasses to old John L. The world moves on, and the ring moves too. Old fighters have long given way to new. But here's a health to the olden days, to the wild old, mad old, bad old ways, when a fight was a fight and not a sell. And tilt your glasses to old John L. Yeah, Bowery, the rough Manhattan days, the Irish guys, the fighting, 19th century. Anyway, continue on here. All right. Yeah, okay. Here we go. And this is a cool poem because this is actually, there's a character that, one of my favorite, the most underrated Robert E. Howard character was in this, right? Bran MacMorn, the leader of the Picts, right? A short, darker-haired race of people trying to survive the onslaught of successive waves of invasions of these tall, blonde giants. And then these Romans come and literally fucking... it's almost a fucking war of survival, genocide. Anyway, here we go. Hein Throne, sent Bran MacMorn. When the sun god sank and the west was red, he beckoned the girl with his drinking horn and sing me a song of the race, he said. Her eyes were as dark as the seas of night. Her lips were as red as the setting sun. As a dusky rose in the fading light, she let her fingers dreamily run over the golden whispered strings, seeking the soul of her ancient lyre. Bran sate still on the throne of kings, bronze face limned in the sunset's fire. That's my grandfather, by the way. First of the race of men, she sang, right? The Cro-Magnons. Far from an unknown land we came, not Africa. From the rim of the world where mountains hang and the seas burn red with sunset flame. First and the last of the race are we. Gone is the old world's guilt and pride. Mu is a myth of the western sea. Through the halls of Atlantis the white sharks glide. Long forgotten our ancient trails, defiled and shattered our mystic fanes, flying helpless before the gales. There is the seas and the fertile plains. Right? These are the older, shorter, darker people getting attacked by these Keltoi. Right? There's our slaves and our fairest maids. We to the woods and the leopards' lairs. Right? They used to have leopards and lions and hyenas in Europe too. Beasts like haunting the forest glades, fleeing the march of the yellow hares. Yeah. Ours the wastelands wild and weird, mountains that loom like a giant's teeth, peaks and wilderness shunned and feared by the very leopards that roam the heath. Right, the heath, and you see them in Scotland. That's where the term heathen comes from. Over the world rim came the stars. Bran sate still on the throne of kings. Faded to amber the western bars. The dusk wind murmured on bat-like wings. Dim in the dusk was the dusky face. We were the first of the world, sang she. Dust with the dust of the past our race. A path on the wind and a trail on the sea. King of the race, as the race hath dreamed. Man from the ages, king trampling lord. No sign gave the king to his fierce eyes gleamed, and his fingers caressed the gold hilt of his sword. An image of bronze, the king sate still. Javelins of crimson shot to west. She brushed the strings in a murmured thrill, swept up the chords to the highest crest. Hear ye the tales that the ancients tell, promised of yore by the god of the moon. Hurled on the shore a deep seashell, carved in the surface a mystic rune. As ye were first in the mystic past, out of the fogs of the dim of time, so shall the men of your race be last, when the world shall crumble. So ran the rhyme. A man of your race, on peaks that clash, shall gaze on the reeling world below. To billowing as smoke shall he see it crash, a floating flag of the winds that blow. Stardust following for aye through space, whirling about in the winds that spin. Ye that were first be the lastmost race, for one of your men shall be last of men. Into the silence her voice trailed off, yet still it echoed across the dusk. Over the heather that the night wind soft bore the scent of the forest musks. Red lips lifted and dark eyes dreamed. Bats came reeling on stealthy wings, but the moon gold rose and the far stars gleamed, and the king still sate on the throne of kings. I like that. That was good. So, and I'll finish it off here, obviously, with the last poem here. Howard, when he was 30, he ended his life after his mother died. And a day that we all shall experience. The day that I die. The day that I die shall the sky be clear, and the east sea wind blow free, sweeping along with its rover's song, to bear my soul to sea. And there's a guy in the middle of Texas, right? Nowhere near the sea, but you get what I'm saying? The sea. Something about being by the sea. Anyway, shut up. They will carry me out of the bamboo hut to the driftwood piled on the lea, and ye that name me in after years, this ye shall say of me, that I followed the road of the restless gull, as free as a vagrant breeze, that I bared my breast to the wind's unrest and the wrath of the driving seas, that I loved the song of the thrumming spars and the lift of the plunging prow, but I could not bide in the seaport towns, and I could not follow the plow. For ever the wind came out of the east to beckon me on and on. The sunset's lure was my paramour, and I loved each rose-pale dawn. That I lived to a straight and simple creed, that whole of my worldly span, and white or black or yellow I dealt, four square with my fellow man. That's right. That I drained life's cup to its blood-red lees, and I thrilled my every vein, but I did not frown when I laid it down, to lift it never again. That ever my spirit turned my steps to the naked morning lands, and I came to rest on an unknown isle, jade cliffs and silver sands, and I breathed my last with a simple tribe, a people savage and free. And they gave my body unto the fire, and my soul to the rainless sea. And you got all the LaFon notes here. Yeah, that's it, man. And this is not all his poetry. This is just selected stuff, man. So, yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah. Next up, we got Clark Ashton Smith and H.P. Lovecraft. Stay tuned.